and welcome from the North Pole. Actually, no, not the North Pole, but welcome to our Home Kitchen Live. Home Kitchen Live is our free weekly virtual cooking demo, and we make this available to our customers, party guests, and hosts throughout US and Canada. So throw us an emoji if your Pampered Chef consultant invited you tonight. My name is Jackie, and I'm coming to you live from the North Pole tonight. So if you haven't already, share in the chat where you are from. I just want to take a moment and thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule during the holiday season to join us this evening. And during the next 20 to 30 minutes, we're going to be joining Christy from her home kitchen. And we want to help you find the products and tips to help you with gifting and gathering this holiday. And you're going to learn budget-friendly gifts to give everyone on the nice list this year. Couple housekeeping notes before we get started. First, we offer a handout for each event, which includes tonight's recipe and feature products. And you can find that in the resources tab right within Zoom. And you also got this in your Zoom reminder email. Second, for our live viewers, stay tuned for an exciting giveaway tonight. We're going to pick 3 lucky winners to win a bundle of products that Christy's using this evening. And at the end of the demo, we're going to be back on to dish out questions to Christy from the Q&A. Now, after the event, please take our survey. We'd love to see the feedback. And we're going to pick another winner from the survey as well. Now, if the chat's going crazy on your device, you can mute notifications by clicking into the chat and clicking the arrow at the top to mute notifications. So if you haven't already, grab a beverage, relax, and let's get cooking. Take it away, Christy.
Thanks, Jackie. As Jackie said, I'm Christy, and I'm so excited to be with you all today. I love the holidays, as I'm sure you can tell by my accents today. My family and I were in Disney before Thanksgiving, so sporting some festive ears this evening. So whatever holidays that you celebrate, I love homemade gifts, and I would love to hear from you. Put it in the chat. What is your favorite homemade gift, either to give or to receive? I'm going to show off some different homemade gifts tonight, both sweet and savory. And I started a few things here. But like Jackie said, this is about being budget friendly. How can we make sure we have gifts for everybody that's on the nice list, and that we're not forgetting those that help us all year long? So think about teachers or your hairstylist or doctors, your nail technician, your mail carrier, who is helping you for different things all year long. Now is a great time to thank them. And I'm going to show you some cake decorating, a savory stack mix, as well as a few other great gift ideas. So without further ado, let's get cooking. In the mixing bowl here, I'm going to talk a little bit about the stand mixer after I get it started. I have some buttercream, super easy buttercream recipe, and it's in the packet that you'll get online tonight. I mixed it with the paddle, but after I mix buttercream with the paddle, I like to put the whisk on and mix it low and slow to take all the bubbles out. So while it's mixing, Jackie, let me know if you're having any problems hearing with it on low and slow. I mixed it ahead of time so that it would be easier to hear. But what's in here is 3 sticks of butter, because I made a double batch, 6 cups of powdered sugar, a teaspoon of our awesome double strength Madagascar bourbon vanilla, and it's double strength, so I only need 1 teaspoon versus the 2 teaspoons in a double batch. So I used these awesome measuring spoons. I love that they lock together. We also have really great adjustable measuring spoons. I'll show you later. And then 4 tablespoons of milk. And this is my favorite thing to measure 4 tablespoons of milk in, because I don't have to do the crouching underneath the counter to see the side of my measuring cup. I can look from above. It's an easy read measuring cup. So I have 4 tablespoons of milk in there. I put it in the mixer, and my favorite thing about this stand mixer is I put it all in. There's presets here. I just turn the dial to cream, It started low, so powdered sugar didn't go flying. And then it gradually beat the butter and the powdered sugar into frosting in 3 minutes. So you guys didn't need to hear the mixer beat for 3 minutes, but I love that the mixer starts low and slow. So I can get the rest of the things cleaned up and set up for you guys to see the fun part about cake decorating. So while it's mixing low and slow, now I'll get this paddle out of the way. So this is what I use to actually beat. See that nice scraper on the side? I love so many things about this mixer, but it comes with 3 different attachments. We've got the dough hook, the paddle with the silicone plate, so it scrapes down as it's mixing. And then the whisk that's on there, and I love our whisk because it has more prongs on it and more space in between. So it's great for whipping up egg whites, whipping cream, and in this case, getting that powdered sugar, or excuse me, that buttercream nice and smooth. What I'm doing here is cutting the tops off my cake. You see how I did it? Put my hand right here and cut through, because nobody wants to chop their hands with really sharp, awesome knives. This is our coated bread knife. And sometimes cakes get a little dome on them. So I baked 4 cakes this morning and put them in the fridge, because when they're chilled, they're easier to work with. So 1 box mixed cake does 4 of these cute little 6-inch round cake pans. Love our nonstick cake pans. Put a little bit of shortening of flour in, the cake's popped right out, no issues at all. Look how nice that is on the bottom. But sometimes cakes don't. So no problem, I'm just gonna cut the top off of that cake, because I can use that cake top either as a snack or mix it with some of the buttercream, make a little cake pop or a little cake jar. Another great gift idea. So I love sweet holiday gifting. So I'm just gonna put that together. Now, if I was doing this the night before, I could wrap this in plastic, leave it in the fridge to chill. The cakes are easier when they're chilled. So, got a little bit of cake on my hand here. I'll get that out of the way. So while that's mixing, let's fill the cake. That knife out of the way. That bread knife makes it super easy to cut all the way across. And we're gonna put 1 layer on the bottom. I just have a cake board here. You can use a plate, whatever's easiest. And then this is our Lazy Susan. It's also part of our charcuterie board set. It's awesome for a charcuterie board. It's awesome for decorating cakes. And it spins, but there's also a lock button if you don't want it to spin. So I'm gonna take this bottom cake and put a little bit of the buttercream I made earlier today on it. And I have 2 different kinds of spreaders that I can use. I like to use smaller ones when I'm doing a smaller cake, larger ones when I'm doing a larger cake, or for coating the outside. So I'm going to use our small spreader. See how it's offset? So I'm going to use the base of that spreader to just move the icing around so it gets nice and flat. So I'm filling that middle of the cake, and it's okay if it oozes a little bit on the outside. So see how I'm spinning that Lazy Susan? Everybody see? And then I'm gonna go a little bit faster and a little bit faster so that frosting's nice and smooth on the top. And then the last thing I'm gonna add is a little surprise in the middle. These are reusable silicone bags. I crushed some candy canes with our meat tenderizer. Surprise, I don't think I told Jackie I was gonna do that, but peppermint chocolate cake, right? So a little bit of peppermint surprise in the middle, a little bit of crunch, a little extra flavor. The recipe book shows this buttercream is super versatile. So you can do vanilla, chocolate, raspberry, put a little bit of jam in it, a little fresh fruit puree in it. So I'm pushing that top cake down. Remember, both sides were cut. If you use a domed cake, you're gonna have a hard time having an even slice of cake. So I'm going to take that small spreader again and just go around the outsides and smooth it. If your cake is sliding on your board, let's put a little buttercream in the bottom, and then it won't slide. I'm going around the edges, just like that, because I don't want any air bubbles. If I have air bubbles as the cake settles, they're going to make cracks in the cake. So the buttercream, I'm going to stop there. There was no exact amount of time. It was just, I was talking and getting all those air bubbles out of the buttercream. And the whisk does a better job doing that. So see how nice and smooth that is? And it's so much easier to coat a cake with that smooth buttercream. So don't want to waste any of that buttercream. All right. So now we're going to coat it, and I'm going to use my other scrapers to coat. And I'm going to go ahead and move the mixer because you guys are going to get a better view. And what I love about this mixer is the cord winds right up in the back. I just push the lock button to lock the top, and there's a handle. So it's easy to move if I need to move it somewhere else in my kitchen. And again, then you can see a little bit better. So I've got my bowl scraper and bench scraper. Anybody seen these tools before? We have a lot of different scrapers. Jackie will tell you a little bit about the sale that's going on right now. What I love about a bowl scraper is it's the shape of my hand. So it allows me to get more of whatever I'm getting out of the bowl. So cookie dough, frosting, you'll see when I fill the piping bags, I can get a big chunk all at once and then just scrape the excess on the side of the bowl. I also use this to get the excess butter off the packaging. Butter's expensive, you guys. Make sure you get all that butter off of the packaging. Put a blob on the top here, and then this is our icing spreader. Again, see how it's angled? So watch. Again, I'm going to use that bottom. And depending on what you're filling a cake with, if you're using like a custard or something like that, I recommend chilling it before you coat it. This cake was chilled before I filled it. Never frost a hot cake. The icing will just come melting off the top. So I'm moving the turntable the whole time. And now my icing spatula I'm holding nice and steady. And I'm getting the nice smooth top. Now that buttercream that's on the bottom, you can scrape right on the bowl. And then I'm going to go around the sides and take that buttercream straight down the sides. So I'm not messing with the top anymore right now. I'm going straight down the sides. And if I'm doing a taller cake, now in this case, this is a gift cake, so I wanted to keep it shorter and smaller. Going around the sides. And if you see any holes, add a little bit more buttercream. Scrape the side. Then I'm going to use my bench scraper, which is also good for chopping vegetables, cleaning off your counter. I'm going to hold it this way. And I'm going to hold my hand this way and go in one full swoop all the way around the cake. So there's no lines or bubbles. I might have to do it a couple times, but use the turntable. Oop. That plate wanted to move on the turntable. So see how I said, put a little buttercream underneath the cake in there. Put a little buttercream actually under the board, on your board, and then that won't slide either. So you've got grippers. So I'm going to go around again. And I'm holding at a 90-degree angle. So I've got my white pretty smooth. At this point, I can do one more finish and be done, or let's add a little red to it. So if I add a little red in a few different spots, it's going to look festive and fancy. And you'll see how super easy it is to do that. So I just put a little bit of red in blobs, and then I'm going to go around again with that bench scraper. And see how fun that looks? And one more time. Okay, keeps moving. And then finally, I'm going to finish off the top back with that icing smoother. And this time I'm using this side of the icing smoother, this front side, not the bottom. I don't want to push down. I'm cutting the top. I'm cutting the top and pulling it towards me. So any of that excess buttercream that was sticking out, I'm cutting towards me to make that top nice and smooth. And even pulled a little of that red in there. So super festive and fun. All right, let's get those icing tools out of the way. I'm gonna chill this for just a couple minutes while I show you my savory snack mix, and then we're gonna decorate the cakes. All right. So my savory snack mix I am making in our Pop and Stir, which makes candied nuts, popcorn, and if you've watched any of these lives before, you may have seen it in action, but I'm going to make a snack mix in it as well. So this tray, here's the base, plugs in right here. With the top on right here, if I was doing popcorn, there's a popcorn lid, which also doubles as the bowl, but I don't need it for my snack mix. And then whatever things you like in a snack mix. I've got, you can use oyster crackers, I have some little goldfish, some rice or corn cereal, some pretzels, some nuts, what almonds or pecans. I'm gonna put a tablespoon of oil. So I'm gonna squeeze right here with our oil and vinegar dispenser. So I get that tablespoon. Drizzle it over my snack mix. And then add whatever seasoning you want to add. I'm going to do a little spicy honey sriracha tonight. Our popcorn seasonings are also fantastic. Ranch or the smoked Gouda, or if you want some sweet with the French toast. Oh, look at that. My honey sriracha is new. Forgot I could use my taste buds packet. Okay, so I've got my honey sriracha here. I'm going to put about a teaspoon and a half. I think the recipe actually calls for a tablespoon because if I was doing a double batch, I'm doing a single batch. So the thing is, you want your snack mix to be about a cup of the goodies in the middle, like of the pretzels and crackers and whatever. So I'm just coating those. And then I'm going to put them on my tray and turn it to the nut setting. So it has a pop setting and a nut setting. And that tray's gonna get warm. Whoop, there was a runaway fish. But it's just gonna mix for about 3 to 4 minutes. So I'm gonna look at my clock there. All right, about 3 to 4 minutes, I'm gonna take it off and then show you a couple other easy gift ideas that also take advantage of the sale that we have going on this month. So one of my favorites are little spice bowls. I have these ready when I've got a friend who stops over, maybe that brings a gift and I wasn't expecting. I always have some of these things ready so you can give a gift to somebody who brings you a gift, or you're going to an event, hostess gifts. So these little prep bowls, you get 6 of them for $25. So it's a great deal. And I put a tablespoon of spice. So I love our all-purpose dill or our garden veggie. So you can buy a thing of spice and then a pack of 6, and you automatically have six gifts. In your packet, there's little gift tags too. So it says how to make the recipe. So it's a tablespoon of spice, and then you can put a half a cup of mayonnaise, Greek yogurt or sour cream in whatever combination, or all of one thing. If you're on the healthier side, go with non-fat Greek yogurt. Then it's a healthy dip. Super easy gift. If you're looking to take it up a notch and give somebody a little bit more, you can attach an adjustable measuring spoon. So go from 1/8 of a teaspoon to a teaspoon. Comes in a set of 2 with a tablespoon as well, or with an actual spice. So different ways to mix those up. The candied nuts, I was saying this Pop and Stir also makes candied nuts. Put them in a prep bowl, tie a bow, great gift. Our mixes and our scoops, our chocolate chip cookie mix or brownie mix with a scoop, a cute little bow, great holiday gift. And one of my favorites is our little mini whipper. Couple hot chocolate packets. You can even do this for like salad dressing and do it with a spice as well, and do a salad dressing recipe or something like that. So there's so many of these great little mixing and measuring tools. Scrapers as well go great with mixes. Tie a little bow on it, have some on hand, so you have gifts for all those people on the nice list, not little people, all those people on the nice list, sorry. All right, our snack mix is just about done. Get those other gifts out of the way. And I'm going to put that on the tray. I've got my tray back here. We're almost at time. I'm gonna let it cool out on the tray. And we'll start to get our icing ready so we can ice those cakes. All right, perfect. We're at 3 minutes. I'm gonna stop it. It smells so good. So little honey sriracha, spicy. I like to cool it on a little half sheet tray. I can put a little parchment on there too. And then when it's cool, I can put it in these prep bowls. Great gift as well, or for my family to snack on tonight. Who are those people on your list that you forget to get gifts for? Put it in the chat. Let us all think about so we don't forget. So we get gifts for all of those people. Okay, so back to our icing here. So this is our dual-sided piping bag. I've got a couple sides filled already. I'm gonna put some of our white icing in this one. So I'm gonna go back to that bench scraper. And again, what I love about that bench scraper is I can put the icing in the piping bag, push it down just like that. I'm using just a plastic cup. If you've got a bowl or a plastic cup, easier to fill than me trying to hold and put icing in at the same time. And then I'm gonna hold the bag. This is what we call burping the bag. So I'm gonna push the buttercream down. Just a little bit pops out so that there's no air bubbles in. Because if there's air bubbles, it's gonna mess with your design. And then this bag, I'm gonna show you completely how to put the bag together. So it comes with these two coupler tips. So it's half the circle. This is dual-sided. Now you can use these bags with just a tip as well if you don't have two different icing colors. But I'm gonna push the coupler all the way through. So I see a couple lines of the thread so that the lid will stay. So I'm gonna, I gotta put the icing in it first. And on here, we're gonna put some red in this one. And I already have this scraper dirty, so no need to dirty a different one. This is our 3-cup prep bowl. I love these for mixing colors. We've got 1 cup, 2 cup, and 3 cup. Again, I'm gonna burp the bag. You can also use that bowl scraper or that bench scraper to push the icing down so you have no bubbles as well. All right. And then let's put the bags together with a tip. So these are the 3 different tips that come with those dual-sided piping bags, depending on what you want to create. So let's do, we've got green, we've got red, we've got blue. So we're gonna do the blue and white. So I already have a blue cake in the refrigerator. So I'm gonna put the tip on here and the coupler. All right, for the blue. Push that down, and I even have a Twix-It clip so that the icing doesn't come back out at me, or you can twist the bags. And then the other one here, I've got the red and the green, but I seem to have misplaced my other coupler tip, so we're just gonna swap it when we get there. So back to those cakes. Any favorite decorations? Do you guys want to see trees or a candy cane? Put it in the chat. We'll start with the snowflake. And then we have that cute red cake. You do a candy cane on top or a Christmas tree. Okay, so for the snowflake, I've got my hand over the piping bag. Now, if you're having a hard time with one hand, use 2. It's totally fine. and have fun with it. Don't stress out. If you want to practice a design before on a board, super easy to do that as well. But I'm just gonna start making, oopsie, didn't break the bag enough. A straight line, a plus sign. But see how pretty it is with the white and the blue? And then I'm gonna go across again. To make the base for the snowflake. So for the edges, I have a couple different options. I can do a rosette. So I'm going to squeeze and make a little circle. I'll do that on the ends. Or maybe instead of turning, I'm just going to push like a star right at the end here. So I've got a snowflake on top. And now I need to make a border. So easiest border is just to push and go all the way around. That's one option. We can do what we call a like a painted border. So I can push and make some circles here. And then take that small spreader and push the border up. See how pretty that is and how it makes like little stripes? Or I could do little stars. Or I could do a shell. So I'm pushing and pulling back. You guys see that? I'm gonna move the camera a little bit closer so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing on the cakes. And I'm pushing and pulling back. It's called the shell border. So lots of options depending on what border you want. I'm gonna do a couple of those, more of those painted ones because that was kind of fun. And I love it with the dual-sided because it kind of looks like a little snowy mountain. There's my snowflake cake. Now you can't see my head, sorry about that. Here I am adjusting and messing up the camera angles. So do some sprinkles on that if you want a little shimmer. And then here we've got the red cake. So we can do a candy cane or we can do a tree. Because I've got the green and the red, I'm going to take that coupler off of here. Let's use a different kit. And I'm going to show you one design on the board and one design on the cake. So again, putting those bags together with the coupler. Oops, sorry, can't see. Making sure that icing is all pushed down. And I'm putting the Twix-It on there. All right. So if we do a candy cane, I'm just going to do like rosettes, but continuous. Kind of looks like a fun little candy cane. All right. Or I can do flowers on the bottom. But I love the dual-sided, and I'm doing it all in one direction here. I can flip the bag and go the opposite way. So if you want to add a little variety in your colors, cute little candy cane. Or if you like the idea of a tree instead, the same thing that I've got going on here, I can start at the top. And I'm just doing that same round rotation back and forth. And going a little bit wider each time. And then I'll make a stem. So as you're pushing the frosting down, make sure you push it all the way down to the tip so you don't get air bubbles. Make yourself a little stem. And remember that peppermint that I have? Put a little bit of peppermint sugar on our candy cane or on our Christmas tree. Because who doesn't like a little extra peppermint in their cakes? So here's my red and green candy cane, because the real one that I crushed was red and green. A cute little Christmas tree and a snowflake. Who thinks that they can do this at home? So my sweet gifts and my savory gifts, what are you most excited about? Jackie, what do they think?
They are just absolutely so impressed with both of them. Like, I think everyone is in awe and they're like, oh my gosh, she makes this look so easy. So I know one request that we had is if you can put all of the gifts ideas like just together so people can take a shot. And I know you have, do you have one more thing to show?
No, those are the only things that I had to show.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking the snack mix too, once that was.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, in the bowls. You're right. I didn't put it back in the bowl. Yes. Let me put them all out for you, Jackie. You are right. So we'll put that in the bowl. Let's use, here's one of my favorite scoopers. And then that snack mix, same thing. We just tie a cute little bow on it. And you can even pair this with some of those sweet candied nuts and say, you know, have something sweet and savory on me. So I've got our little snack mixes here.
Yep. So you have those snack mixes, which make a great, like small, like handmade gift, especially if you're on a budget, right? And what else? And you have a whole other more ideas. I'm going to let you continue to share those.
Absolutely. So those same things that I talked about before we decorated the cake. Remember, we've got the chocolate chip cookie dough with the scooper, the mini whipper, and the hot cocoa, and that awesome veggie dip with the tags. So don't forget that those tags are in your packet as well.
Awesome. So Christy, I know we have a lot of questions for you tonight because everyone wants to pick your brain about some of the things that you did. But first of all, again, thank you so much for all of your expertise. So I know first and foremost, we have a couple housekeeping things and we want to share the winners from tonight. So we have 3 winners, and what you're going to be able to get is the round cake pans, the dual piping bags, and I believe the spatula. But I will confirm that in a second. And our 3 winners are Ida Centner, Centner, Mary Finger, and Jennifer Allred. So those are our 3 winners for tonight. And then Christy mentioned, right? She said, we have an amazing sale going on tonight. And so we are doing a buy 3, get 1 free of our mix and measure products. So what that means is that you can mix and match however you like, right? So you could get like a set of mixing bowls here, a scraper, and a measuring cup. And then you can get 1 more item for free. And that the item that's the lowest retail price, will be your item for free. But these are so great, especially if you have not finished shopping yet for those stocking stuffers, teacher gifts, neighbor gifts, hairdresser, delivery men, like all of those people that you want to be able to give small gifts to. This is such a great idea and offer for you to be able to do that. Now, before we get to questions, I have one more housekeeping thing to do, is that if you had fun tonight and you're like, I want to do what Christy does, or I want to do what my consultant does, then at 7:45 p.m. Central Time, so 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, you get my drift. We're going to have someone from our home office go live on the Facebook page for US and Canada. And they're just going to share more about Pampered Chef. So you can learn more during that event that happens in 11 minutes. But before then, we're going to answer some of the questions that we got. So first of all, when you did the cake, confirm that you do need to cool the cake, right? First, before you cut the dome off?
Yes. I always recommend chilling your cake, even that like baking it the night before or a couple hours before that you do any of your building and coating. Because if that cake is completely cooled, you're not going to have any issues with the icing. Now, cutting the dome, you could cut the dome and put the cakes together in the fridge that way and chill that overnight if you want to make cake pops or something. But you will have a harder time cutting a hot cake. So if you want to get a nice, smooth, even cut, I recommend chill the cake. I always plan ahead, bake the cake the night before or early that morning, and then you have plenty of time without any icing issues.
Yep. And then did you use nuts in anything today? Because someone asked, and it may just be about the Pop and Stir, about using raw nuts versus salted or regular.
Yeah, so it just depends on your taste, honestly. I prefer the unsalted nuts in the Pop and Stir because then I can control the salt and the seasoning that I'm putting in. If you do use salted nuts, don't add any extra salt. And I caution like which seasonings you're using so the snack mix doesn't get too salty. Because some of those crackers already come salted or the pretzels already come salted. So I usually do the unsalted nuts. Now I don't go totally raw though, because I like the roasted, that they're instead of like a raw cashew, I do like an unsalted cashew that's already been roasted, or roast them a little bit in the Pop and Stir maybe before you add the other ingredients.
Yep, awesome. So when you do your red color, what do you use? A gel? Do you use food coloring? What do you use?
Yeah, I use a gel food coloring because it doesn't make the frosting runny then. If you use a liquid food coloring, it's going to change the texture of your icing. If that's all you have at home right now, maybe lower your milk and don't put as much milk because you're adding that liquid in there. But I love gel food coloring and it's really easily accessible at so many stores now. So I definitely recommend gel. And a lot of people are trying to go away from artificial dyes. So use raspberry puree and make it pink, or there's ways to add color in different ways as well.
Absolutely. And when you were doing the smoothing of the cake on the sides, I think this is when Brenda had asked the question. Were you using the bench scraper? I know you brought that out.
Yeah, so we have two different tools, and I'm sorry that my icing smoother is like not in this drawer right now, so I don't want to start digging through tools. But online, look in your party link. There's an icing smoother or the bench scraper. It's two different ways that you can smooth the sides. What I like about the bench scraper is it works for other purposes. Whereas an icing smoother is just that. If you're not icing a ton of cakes, if the bench scraper is going to give you that smooth finish, plus you can use it for chopping vegetables and cleaning off your counter. So I'm all about the multiple purpose tools.
Awesome. And then just really quick, I know some people want a better visual of the cakes. Can you maybe just hold up each cake individually, just so
Sure.
people get a close-up shot? And if they want to screenshot that, they can do that. And while she's sharing the cakes close up, one of the things I just wanted to iterate. So Christy also she mentioned that she put some of that seasoning in the Prepple. The Prepple is part of that buy 3, get 1 free. And she added a bow and she added a gift tag. So guess what, guys? That gift tag is part of your handout. So we did the work for you. But yeah, I love the tree too.
Yeah, and I just put a candy cane, but you can put some crushed nuts. You can put some sprinkles, like on the snowflake. I like to do some like silver glitter, clear glitter, sprinkles, edible glitter. And like Jackie said, here is that cute little gift tag. So all you have to do is print it on like a colored cardstock and cut it. And then it's going to be even more festive.
Awesome. And then for those of you that were asking in the chat, like obviously ask your consultant if you have questions, shop with your consultant. If you go to the website, you're going to see right on their website, it says buy 3, get the 4th free, and it says shop holiday deal. So you can find it there, but always make sure you're picking your consultant to shop with as well. Okay. That was my short little plug. We got time for like 2 more questions or so. So the dual piping bags, can you use it for a single item too? Like if you were doing like deviled eggs, you know how those are awesome in the piping bags?
Yeah, so don't use the coupler if you're just using one of the bags, because the coupler is two. So I'm unscrewing it here. So you've got the tips. This is the top of the coupler, and then the inside couplers are in the bag. I just wouldn't put this coupler in, and I would just put the piping tip in the bag, and then you can use it for deviled eggs. I love these piping bags. They're silicone. They're super easy to clean. All I just flip it inside out. So get all that extra frosting out. So I said, use your bench scraper and scrape all the extra frosting out. Buttercream can be frozen. So I always make an extra batch and freeze your leftovers, and then you can use it on the next cake. But just flip it inside out and it washes super easy. I hand wash them just with a little bit of dish soap, and love these reusable bags.
Yep, and they're also dishwasher safe, so you can place them on the top rack. Because I usually do what Christy does too. I'll dishwash as much as I can, but if it still has that greasy, buttery residue on it, I'll put it in the dishwasher to get it extra clean. And the last question I have for tonight is the honey sriracha. People always like to know, like, how spicy do you think the honey sriracha is to you? I think it has a little bit of heat to it, right?
It has heat. Like my husband loves spice and he loves the honey sriracha. I think our favorite is putting it in sloppy joes, but it's great on wings as well. So my kids probably will not eat the snack mix, but my husband will devour it. I like it, and I'm like a mid spice level. But then if you're not as spicy, add less of it and then maybe pair it with something else. Try it out.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. So of course you talked about the buttercream being frozen. Now they want to know how long you can freeze it for.
Oh geez, I knew you were gonna ask me that.
I know.
I mean, it's your typical freezer rules. Honestly, like if you have just like a freezer that's on top of your fridge and it's being opened and shut a lot, I would say use it within like 3 months. But if you have like a deep freezer, it can be in there probably for 6 months to a year. So like depending on like what kind of storage space that you have and how often it's being, opened and closed. But buttercream freezes really, really well. And I say when you're warming it back up, I always take it out of the freezer, put it in the fridge the night before, but you can also microwave it on 50% to get it to that consistency that we mixed it originally. So don't ever do a full heat because you'll like melt the butter versus softening the buttercream.
For sure. Thank you. And I know, probably a good rule of thumb is, definitely 3 months is like a good rule of thumb if you're not sure of your freezer situation. So Christy, thank you so much. I just want to remind everyone, the recipes, those gift tags, that is included in the handout tonight. So if you didn't grab it from the resources here, it's included in your Zoom email with your reminder. So you actually already have it in your inbox. So again, thank you so much, Christy, for joining us tonight. Do not forget to go tune into Discover Pampered Chef. It's in 2 minutes on the Facebook page for US and Canada. The shipping cutoff, my last announcement, you have time to shop still. So in the United States, our holiday shipping cutoff, I believe, is the 18th. In Canada, I think you get another couple days there, but not much longer from there. So there is time to shop. So don't miss out on these amazing gift giving opportunities. Happy holidays, everyone, and have a great evening.